It's a hot summer morning in July. You plan for a peaceful, screen-free summer. Instead, you're exhausted, and I know that phrase, Mom, I'm bored, is just echoing through your house. There's a magnetic pull with your kids and their tablets, the TVs, the video games, and somehow that is winning the battle, especially high energy boys. They are zoning out in front of those screens. You feel guilty because you want them to love learning, not consume a bunch of pixels. Well, I've got a secret weapon for you today, and we're going to spend our time talking about it. That is why I'm at the beach, because you don't need a complicated curriculum or a lecture to fix this. You need a topic that instantly captures their imagination. Go to the beach, sharks. Next week is Shark Week. And so I want to give you some fun ideas of how you can get your kids off those tablets and on to learning. And we're just going to do this straight at the kitchen table. Well, I'm at the beach, but you can do it at the kitchen table. And we're going to turn it into a marine biology lab using junk from your pantry. I'm going to give you some tools of learning through direct observation, kicking boredom to the curb and making you realize that real life is way more interesting than that tablet. Hey, I'm Carrie Beck with Homeschool Coffee Break, where we help you stop the overwhelm so you can take a coffee break and enjoy your kids and have fun learning. Hey, let's take just a minute or two. I want to give you a little historical background. There was a woman named Mary Anning in the 19th century. She is completely self-taught. She lived in England. She gathered fossils. She had no formal science background. In fact, her family were Protestants that were completely separated from the Church of England. They lived in poverty. And out of nine kids, only Mary and her older brother Joseph survived to adulthood. Life was hard, but she had a dad who had great influence on her. Her father, Richard, worked as a cabinet maker, but was also an avid fossil collector. So his 5-year-old sidekick, Mary, would come along and he would show her how to collect fossils at the beaches where they were. He meticulously taught his young daughter how to locate the specimens, get them out safely, and clean the delicate beach fossils. Then he would take what they found and put them in the storefront of his cabinet shop. Side note, dads, you have a great impact on your kids. He had such a great impact that that is where Mary ended up spending the rest of her life. Like most women at that time and young girls in Lyme Regis at this time, Mary did not have any formal education. She was actually denied formal education. But despite her lack of schooling, she taught herself to read. I think of someone else, not in education, but someone I just learned about this past week, Trudy Everly. She was an American. She was the first woman to swim the English Channel. And it is a fascinating story. So if you decide to go into sharks and learn about that and oceans, she would be a fascinating person. In fact, she learned to swim when girls weren't even taught to swim. Think about that. But her mother pursued it because she felt like it was so important for her. I'm not going to go into all the story. Maybe I will tell that in the next couple of weeks because it is a fascinating story, especially when it comes to different ways of having faith in a calling that God has called you to. Off the subject, Mary Anning, who was the paleontologist, she was self-taught and she actually used curiosity, drive, and perseverance to be successful. That is what I want for your kids in this episode. I want to show you how you can use curiosity, a drive, and perseverance. So the first thing I want you to do, we're going to talk about 3 myths and bust them out. All right. But before that, I want you might want to pause, go to your kitchen cabinet, and I want you to get just 3 things right now. I want you to get a bottle of cooking oil, a small plastic empty bottle, and a handful of pennies. Don't start yet. Just put them on the counter. Physically setting them out will say today is a hands-on learning day. So let's talk about myth buster number 1. The myth is sharks sink like stones if they stop swimming. I don't know where they got that myth, but that's it. You see, bony fish have swim bladders filled with gas to float. But sharks don't have swim bladders. How do they float? Instead, they have this massive liver, oily liver, that acts like a natural flotation device. Oil is lighter than water. So they got this giant thing inside of them that's filled with oil. So what I want you to do is this: grab grab your empty bottle. I want you to, this one's already filled with water. I'm not going to demonstrate it. I'd have to be in the kitchen. Fill the sink with water, drop it in, and see what happens to it. That's right, it sinks. Now, don't tell your kids that. Do it and let them observe. Let them be curious and ask them ahead of time, what do you think is going to happen if I drop this in to a thing of water? Next, I want you to pour out the water, and then I want you to fill this bottle with some oil and close it tightly. And what happens? It's going to sink. I mean, not sink. It's going to float. And that is because of the oil is lighter than the water. And so the oil will rise to the top and the water is heavier and it will stay at the bottom. Super easy activity, but you could get a few shark books and talk about that. Read a book to go along with that, or maybe find a video on YouTube. All right. That was myth number one. Sharks sink like stones if they stop swimming. Myth number two. Sharks can smell a drop of blood from miles away through magic. We know it's really not magic. It's a highly acute olfactory navigation. You can talk about what olfactory is. It's their smell. Sharks track scent gradients through water currents. God gave them the ability to smell, and that is how they sort of drive. Like we drive a car with our eyes, they drive themselves with their smell. So here's what we need for this one. You need a bowl with warm water. It's super easy. Have your kids sit perfectly still and then take some red food coloring, drop it in one side, and watch what happens to that red food coloring. Together, the current in that warm water will carry the scent or carry the food coloring across the bowl. All right. This is a visual anchor for your kids to see the door to, I'm sorry, visual anchor to see that the scent pathway across the bowl is same as the red food coloring as well. This is a way that you can open up, get some more books about sharks and read them and discover more things about sharks. This is just what Charlotte Mason is teaching. She was constantly talking about and insisting that kids learn best when they are allowed to interact with the direct, real world, rather than just reading dry summaries, rather than reading a textbook. She proved that when kids use their own senses, their eyes, touch, feel, whatever, to observe nature, they develop deep analytical skills. And through these very simple experiments, I have one more for you. Ask questions and let your kids come up with conclusions about how that relates to a shark and things that they can learn about the shark. Also, it hopefully will develop an intrinsic love for discovery. No prepackaged textbook or screen can duplicate this. All right, myth number three, the tooth replacement system. Losing a tooth is an emergency for a shark. Well, you know what? We humans, we get two sets of teeth. And when we lose one of these, in the second set, they're gone. But sharks have a conveyor belt system of teeth. In fact, they will lose and grow up to 35,000 teeth in a lifetime. They don't have deep roots, so the teeth fall out very easily while they're hunting for food. I do not have the supplies for this, but I will give you a quick little activity. If you, and mostly because I don't keep Play-Doh around anymore, but most of you probably have Play-Doh or some kind of modeling clay that you have in, hopefully, an art craft bucket. And then get your pennies. Or you could use small pebbles. And what I want you to do is I want you to roll it into a thick strip that represents the jaw of a shark. Then we're going to push the pennies into the dough one by one, layered behind each other. They're sort of like shingles on a roof. So you might have several of them. Have one of your kids pull out the front tooth and watch how it will directly, the other ones will sort of fall into place. It's ready to pop right into the right place that it needs to. And that's another visual that you can use with your kids. Simple, simple activities. Now, I want to tell you what I would do from here. Those are our three myth busters. The one about the oily liver rises, and then we have the tooth replacement system, which is like a conveyor belt, and the olfactory senses. The smell is really the steering wheel for a shark to be going across the ocean. So what do we need to do? I would find some books. Go to get your library card, get online and just type in sharks. No more than 5 minutes and pick two or three out, go pick them up from the library or pick up if you have DVDs or documentary. You could pick one of those up as well. And those are ways that you can continue to learn and grow as well. Give your kids immediate, high quality material to dig into right after they finish making a mess at their kitchen table, or as I did at the beach. Those are some fun things, and we need to be doing things. And these fun activities can help keep your kids off the screens. I know for a fact because when I go visit my grandkids, they are not on their screens, they're not even watching the TV. So, hands on learning gets kids off the screens, but it takes serious energy to plan, to find the books, to build worksheets or life cycle systems, to organize the schedule for a single week. And you want the fun, but not the exhaustion of starting from scratch. So if you want to skip the planning completely and you want to be ready for Shark Week next week and have some fun with your kids, I would just welcome you to get our Shark Unit Study. Today is day one of our flash sale. You can save $10. That means it's only $5. You're going to save, what is that? 66%, over 60%. And what would you be getting so that you don't have to be creating these projects themselves or finding the books? I'm going to give you shark life cycle activities. These are just simple pages for your kids to learn more about sharks. I have a curated list of books and videos and handpicked resources ready to deepen their understanding and activities to go with each one of them. So you don't have to scroll YouTube. I've already found them for you. Crafts and hands-on fun like this kitchen science, these three mythbusters today, they are in the unit as well. And you can go from exploring shark teeth to building binoculars, shark binoculars as well, and some other things. I love food. My kids love food. If I bring food out, that's good. So we have shark themed snacks. One of my 7-year-old granddaughter wrote me a note one time. Oh, Gigi, I can't wait to see the book she brought me because she loves to read. And she goes, and what food crafts we're going to do and what real crafts we're going to do. Because I tend to bring something with us as well. And then we have an ocean unit tie-in as well. It's a perfect plug and play addition to the wider ocean beach and summer homeschool plans. But stop stressing over screen time. Let me handle the prep work. Try some of these activities that I just shared with you and head on over to howtohomeschoolmychild.com/shark unit. That's in the show notes wherever you're listening to this. Get your copy today. And if you buy it by Friday, you can save $10 with the code Shark Week. That means you only pay $5 for an entire unit study. Inspire your kids to have fun learning this summer and get off those screens and build relationships with your kids as well. Hey, if this has helped you at all, just sparking one little idea, would you do me a favor and share this with one homeschool mom or with your homeschool co-op? That would mean the world to me. I am Carrie Beck with Homeschool Coffee Break. We'll talk to you next time.